Alright. Okay, so Higurashi when they cry. President, if you would. Oh, I'm here now. From when I forgot the class president was me. All rise. It looks like you didn't get enough sleep. I know it's very hot at night lately, but try to get as much sleep as you can. Alright, everyone? Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure this place can be called a school because there are so many different age groups. It's like a kindergarten and an elementary school blended together. Since I've heard um already about what this place was like, I didn't feel that uncomfortable. It wasn't too difficult to act like me on here. My sister told me Satoshi looked exhausted. I said hi to him, but he ignored me. Since I knew what he would have been going through, his pain looked apparent to me. I was interested in another person in this classroom. Satoshi-kun's little sister. She looked as worn out as Satoshi-kun, emotionless like an abandoned doll. Everyone in the room was aware of their circumstances, but nobody could do anything for them. So they acted as though nothing was wrong. Do. Meow will only let me have this one day. If I stacked up even a little bit, today would be over with quickly. I had to figure out what I should do in this limited time. I should probably talk to Satoshi-kun. About what? Anything goes. Cheer him up, sympathize with him, anything will do. More than anything, I just wanted to chat with him. However, Sister told me. She said Satoshi-kun didn't communicate much with her lately, and had distanced himself from her. I figured I shouldn't talk to him too casually. I wanted to, but maybe it was better to leave him alone. I need to keep Sis's warning in mind, but instead I decided to ignore them. I looked for Satoshi-kun during lunch break. He was walking as if looking for a place where he could be alone. I caught him in the hallway. Satoshi-kun? He turned around, startled by my voice. His facial expression surprised me. He was scrolling, clearly a sign of rejection. But I couldn't hesitate. I'd lose my chance if I did. Hey, how are you? He gave me a look as saying, do I look fine to you? I never expected to see an expression like that on his face. I felt like my heart was being torn into pieces. As I looked down, he spoke to me. I felt a little glad, but the next thing he said changed that. I'm fine. Is there anything else? Eh? I'll get going if there isn't, because I want to be alone. Okay, I guess you're tired from work. I'm sure you want some time to yourself. You're working today too, right? Where at? Sis had found several jobs for him. He worked at a few different places. He was helping out when necessary at any of the shops Sis introduced him to. As a result, he constantly had to do different tasks in a different environment almost every time. On top of that, he requested high-paying jobs from Myanmar because he wanted a lot of money as soon as possible. In other words, he chose to mostly do manual labor. He was exhausted every day because he wasn't that physically strong. Does it matter? And shouldn't you know because you helped me get the job? Mian did help him get the job, yet Satoshi didn't look thankful for that opportunity. This wasn't like him at all. It made me feel sad. You're right, sorry. Is that all? He sounded so harsh. Why was he being like that? Would he ever struck my head again? Oh, I couldn't help my tears. They flowed onto my cheek. Satoshi looked confused for a moment, but then he frowned again. Sorry. The coach said he wanted you to come back to practice. I told him I quit, so I won't be coming back. But maybe it's a good idea to work out from time to time, you know. Not interested. I didn't know why he was being so hostile towards me. Why did he hate me so much? I was left bewildered. Why? How come? Because I'm busy with work, isn't it obvious? No, I didn't mean that. Why do you hate me so much? Why don't you ask yourself? Ask myself, what? What did I do? I don't understand, Satoshi-kun. I couldn't control my emotions any longer. Streaks of tears ran down my cheeks. Satoshi-kun gave me a hateful glare and walked away without saying another word. I couldn't even stop him. I tried She had hurt me again with another cutting remark if I tried. I couldn't bear that, so I just watched him walk away. I wiped my tears and went back to the classroom. I heard someone crying from inside. What's going on? I looked around the classroom to see. It was Satoko. I saw a bento box on the floor. I asked one of the classmates what happened, and it seemed that Satoko had bumped into somebody's shoulder when she stood up to go wash the box out. That was all. But Satoko was crying as she was afraid she was going to be chided badly. What happened was very minor. She could just pick up the bento box and things would be fine. It looked like the lid came a little loose, but it was definitely flexible. She didn't have to cry like that, and Satoko started begging through her tears. Help me, Nini. Wow. Because of what happened with Satoshi-kun, I couldn't suppress my emotions very well. Uh-oh. So instead they exploded. I stormed up to Satoko while elbowing her classmates aside. I grabbed her by her head, and then threw her into the wall. What? Satoko screamed. She didn't seem to understand what was happening. She was shedding tears and shivering. She must be wondering why I did that. Do you know why I did that? You can help me, Nini. Satoko cried for her brother's help again. As I grabbed her head and threw him again, Satoko stumbled and crashed into her desk. The desk fell like the contents of the desk scattered about. Satoko didn't even stand up. She just crouched and trembled while looking up at me. Help, Nini. If you weren't like that, Satoshi-kun wouldn't have to suffer, don't you get it? That's what I wanted to say, but I was too angry to utter another word. I picked up a bunch of textbooks from the floor and threw them at her face. Cry as much as you want, but nothing's going to change. Why are you crying? Because you think someone's gonna help you? You don't have any idea what he has gone through to protect you, do you? Do you understand that? Do you understand what you're doing? You shouldn't exist. Die if you don't want to suffer. Go fuck yourself. Don't hurt Satoshi-kun. You deserve to die alone. You just deserve to die. Wah. Nini. Wah. My desperate cries only increased my irritation. Stop crying, don't call your brother for help, stop it. If you weren't like that, if only you... I kept on throwing things at her. Satoko curled up to protect herself and cried even harder. At that point, a girl with long hair ran up and huddled over her. I knew who that was. Rika Furudu, one of Satoko's only friends. Please don't hurt her, she's in a poor situation, so please don't hurt her. It doesn't matter how pathetic she is, she didn't realize Satoshi-kun all this time. Stop spoiling her. Satoshi-kun has to suffer so much because of her. No, stop. Don't hurt her. Rika also became the target of my anger. I'm trying to teach her something here. If you keep getting in my way, I'll crack your head open. I grabbed a chair and lifted it over my head. It wouldn't hurt only a little if I threw this thing at them. Rika tightly closed her eyes and punched Satoko with her body. I didn't care what the consequences would be. I didn't care if I hurt them. Stop, Mi-chan. Rina returned to the classroom and shouted at me. Then Satoshi-kun rushed in while pushing Rina aside. Seeming to grasp the situation immediately, he charged straight at me. Until my body had hit the locker, I didn't understand what had happened. There was a large crashing noise. I had left a dent in it. I crouched there in pain. Satoko, are you alright? Nini, wow. Satoko pushed Rika aside, jumped at her brother, and started crying again. What happened? Why were you treated like that? Why? I don't know anything, but Mi-chan, she suddenly, wah. What's going on, Mion? Satoshi shied at me while clutching his sister. He looked fierce. I just... What did Satoko do to deserve this? What did we do? Why do we always have to suffer like this? Why? He released Satoko and rushed up to me, grabbed me by the neck. You said that I should ask myself, didn't you? So, why don't you ask yourself? Ask what? I know you feel she's a burden on you. You always have to suffer because of her. You know that, right? If she was stronger, you wouldn't have to suffer. She's the one to blame. I don't believe what I did was wrong. But after hearing it, Satoshi-kun went berserk. What the heck do you know? Ow. Satoshi-kun grabbed my hand, threw me to the wall, just like I did to Satoko. However, I wasn't going to back down. I no longer had any control over my emotions at all. You spent so much time protecting her, she'll never stop relying on you until you stop doing that. What the hell do you know about us? What the heck do you know? You prosecuted our parents, and now it's us? That's the way the Shinozaki family, huh? You torture traitors for fun. Is it fun? Is it fun bullying us, huh? Stop it! That was Rina's voice. She stepped in, looking as fierce as a demon. Satoshi-kun, please! Michan doesn't have any bad intentions. She wanted to help. She just lost control a little, okay? Satoshi-kun looked like he wanted to say something, but he chose not to. You too, Michan. I know how much you worry about Satoshi-kun, but you can't solve the problem like that. I think you understand that, right? Since Satoshi didn't say anything, I kept quiet too. Here, Satoko-chan. You don't have to cry just because you dropped your bento box, alright? Do you feel better now? Satoko, I'll pick up the bento for you. Ooh, hick, hick. Yuka started picking up the bento box, whilst the owner continued to cry. Guys, can you help me clean up? The teacher will be back for the vegetable garden soon. This quarrel is over, so don't tell him about it, okay? The classmates looked at each other and nodded, then decided to pick up the stuff on the floor. Here. Satoshi-kun, Michan, why don't you guys shake hands as a sign of recognition? Sorry, I didn't mean to do this. Tears started to roll down my cheeks again. I'm sorry. You have nothing to do with that family situation, I'm sorry. Okay, Michan, why don't you apologize to Satoko-chan now? I was fine with apologizing to Satoshi, but I didn't want to apologize to her. The situation wouldn't be settled otherwise, so I reluctantly apologized. Satoko nodded, looking discouraged. After that, Rina let me go. My head ached, so I had held it with both my hands. What was that? What did I do? I didn't want to use this precious time to fight. Sis had warned me. She told me that I shouldn't talk to Satoshi-kun just like that. What did I come here for? I should not have come here if I knew this was gonna happen. Stupid, you're stupid, Shion. I was overcome by emotions because I was so worried about Satoshi-kun. When did things go so wrong? Were they wrong from the beginning? I got into a fight with Satoshi-kun. This was totally the opposite of what I wanted. I regretted it. I hated myself for it. I couldn't blame myself enough. My world had been torn apart. I wish the sky would fall and kill me. Sis sounded both amazed and confused. You know I'm busy with the festival preparations, but you certainly made things more complicated. Sorry. Sis tried to say something, but she stopped in the middle. After listening to a few complaints, I started telling her about everything that happened today. Sis had to pretend that the trouble that caused today was her responsibility, which must have been very taxing for her. So I won't get the chance to trade spots for a while. Hey, I think you should be more aware of the hassle I have to go through. Yeah, you're right. Sis has been sympathetic, but maybe I pushed her too far this time. Of course she would be hesitant to trade spots considering what I did today. The atmosphere felt awkward, so we were both silent for a while. If you were to get another chance, what would you do, Shion? That was a reasonable question. I wasn't prepared to answer though. If I had a chance to go to school once again and see Satoshi-kun, what would I do? Would I apologize to him about today? I don't think that would work. That might even make him upset again, no matter how much I tried. Okay? Here's something that he was saying. It was that the Shinozaki family who had been harassing his. It would be natural for him to hold a grudge against us. But why was he only expressing that now? I've been a Shinozaki to him all along. Satoshi-kun stroked my head even though he knew that I was Mion Shinozaki. Sis, do you think that Satoshi is holding a grudge against the Shinozaki family? I think so, yes. It's our family that initiated the persecution of the Hojo family, making them into scapegoats. Even after the dam conflict, it wasn't easy for the Hojo family to live in Himizawa. Given all that, it's not surprising that Satoshi Hojo hates us. Shinozaki family who put his family in a devastating situation. But why now? Why is he only expressing that grudge to us now? Why is this happening now? If he wanted to, if he had rejected me in the first place, I wouldn't have wanted to get close to him. My tears wet my cheek. I didn't bother to wipe them anymore. It's pretty natural for him to hold a grudge against the Shinozakis. There's nothing unusual about it. Rather, why has he been treating me like a friend? I know how stupid the question was. I think it's because he was mature. I can't understand it. Wow. He's been treating me like a friend because he was mature, but now that he's become stressed and mentally and physically, he decided to reject me. No matter how hard I thought about it, I couldn't find anything to fault him with. If there were somebody to blame, it'd be somebody I've never accused before. Why did the hag decide to persecute the Hojo family? Eh? Uh, um, it was his parents who supported the dam project, right? Joshi had nothing to do with it. Why was he included? Why? Mian couldn't say anything in return. Actually, it wasn't at all hard to guess the reason. The hag didn't give any specific order to arrest the Hojo family. She just thought the Hojo family was getting in the way. The people around her noticed what was bothering her and took steps to get rid of it. Though of course she must have known how influential her words were. She didn't just think it. She gave what she must have known would be interpreted as an order. She's the one to blame for initiating the attack on the Hojo family. You said before that the Furudu priest wasn't mature because he didn't cooperate, right? Is this the same scenario? The Hojo family wasn't mature because they didn't act in accordance with the other villagers? That's why the hag decided to punish them, isn't it? Mia couldn't say anything in return, meaning that my accusations was the truth. They already punished the Hojo couple. Feel free to bring them to the torture room in the garden and chop off their fingers or something, but leave Satoshi-kun alone. Satoshi-kun has nothing to do with this. What did he do to deserve this? What did he do wrong? Answer me. Answer me, Mion. Mion? Very well. Please take care of this matter. Goodbye. Mion suddenly changed her tone and hung up. She must have done that to escape from my questions. I was furious. I started redialing the number, but then I remembered that we decided she would hang up the phone using that phrase when she saw the hag coming. I doubt she actually saw the hag, but it was the rule so I couldn't call her back for a while. I went to the bathroom to wash my face and cool down. I turned the faucet, the water felt lukewarm. It didn't help me cool down at all. I'm disgusted about my own childishness. I just wanted to fill my void. I didn't care about him. Considering that Satoshi was very generous, but I don't know if I can forgive Satoko. That's a different story. Notebook, page 26. Higurashi when they cry. I was looking at the ceiling, my arms and legs spread out. It's not that I wasn't getting hungry. I didn't live with my parents. I didn't live in the school dorm. The school dorm, that meant I had to cook something myself when I wanted to eat. I knew that, but I didn't feel like getting up. It had been several days since I began this empty life. It must be tomorrow, the Meakashi festival, I mean. I heard the doorbell ringing. I ignored it at first, but it rung persistently. I started hearing knocking alongside Casey's rude voice. Shion-san, please open up. I brought some food for you. I didn't ask him to. He must have known that I hadn't eaten enough and that I'd been feeling down lately. You haven't eaten, have you? No, I'm not hungry. But when Casey put the food on the table, my stomach reacted in a very primitive way by making some noise. Your stomach is growling. I believe you need to eat. I was hungry, but I had no appetite. I mean, I did have an appetite, but didn't have the energy to eat. Yeah, I'd feel bad wasting the food that Casey had brought. I picked up my chopsticks just to humor him. I thought you were marked by the hag. Is it okay for you to be here? Ovio-san is busy with the festival preparations meetings. She doesn't have time to deal with you right now. Didn't you like the croissants? Yeah, they're good. Thanks. Croquettes, not croissants. Whatever. While I nibbled on the food, Casey read through the magazines I brought. Corsets. Have you, I've never talked to Casey about something like this before, since I've always believed myself superior to him psychologically. I hesitated to show my weakness to him. That kind of hardship is healthy for your age. Hey, how do you know about that? Mion-san told me a little about it. She said she wanted me to assist you. She did she? She, looked worried. Your sister is looking out for you. without responding, I threw the last croquette into my mouth. Although you may want to know how Satoshi Hojo-kun is doing, I've gathered some information. Would you like me to report? That's not necessary, but since you went through all the trouble, I thought I'd better listen. Casey chuckled, but stopped quickly as if thinking it was rude. It seemed that Teppa Hojo fled the premises. He seemed to be staying at his mistress's place in Akinomiya. Teppa? Who's that? Oh, Satoshi-kun's uncle, huh? Their aunt, Tammy Hojo, Satoshi, and Satoko are the only ones living in the house now. Ever since Tammy learned that Teppa had fled to his mistress, she's been in a foul mood. So that must mean that the aunt is being even nastier to Satoko, and Satoshi-kun is taking even more indirect blows. I don't know about Satoshi-kun, but I heard that Satoko looked very miserable. The neighbors are spreading rumors about her. If Satoko looked miserable, that means Satoshi-kun must be going through equal miserable torture. Can't you do something about that, aunt? Does anyone talk about punishing her? She's also one of the remaining Hojos after all. The uncle is gone too, so why not the aunt? The main Shinozaki family ruled against further harassment towards the Hojos after the death of the couple. They say the police still might be stalking out their house due to their suspicions about the couple's death. Their deaths have been filed under Orishida-sama's curse. So the Shinozaki family thinks no further divine intervention isn't necessary. Face upon a faint smile. Come to think of it, it is hard not to suspect the involvement of the Shinozaki family in all the incidences said to be Orishida-sama's curse. Somebody strives to get rid of the hag's concerns on the day of the Washington Festival. Furthermore, the Washington Festival is going to be held tomorrow. Will the curse strike again this year? If so, who will be the victim? Now that I think about it, there were cases of multiple victims in the past. The first and third year, it was just one, but the second, the victims were a couple. So it wouldn't be too strange if two people fell victim this year. It seems like a good time. It'd be best for Satoko and her aunt to be the victims. Satoshi will be freed from every source of his worries all at once. I think that's a good idea. Keisei, do you know if this year's victims have been selected already? I'm only saying that because I like Satoko, but whatever. Does the hag make the decision? If so, Sis should know something about it by now. Keisei? Do you know anything? Shinozaki-san, I don't know anything about that matter. Well, that makes sense. That kind of secret won't make its way to you because you're just some small fry. That's true. I never received any information regarding that from my connections. But as you know, the Shinozaki family has access to many underground organizations, which I have no channels into. Maybe I could try asking Sis about it, but she won't talk. She's strict about keeping promises, unlike me. If the hag told her to keep a secret, she would take it to her grave. Damn. I hope Satoko and her aunt will go missing this year. Hey Keisei, I just thought of that. Aren't you going to do something about it? Shion-san, you must be joking. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I took a glimpse at Keisei. It didn't look like he was actually going to do something to make my wish come true. I wasn't able to go to the villages myself. So I definitely wasn't able to definitely wasn't going to the festival. I didn't care about that. Even so, I was interested in who was going to end up as a victim of the curse. If I just kept lying on the couch playing cookie, somebody would fall victim in several hours. I had no clue why it had to happen every year, but I was certain that the hag was behind it. All the enemies was when the damn conflict had been punished. Only the Hojo couple were left, since most of the enemies had already gone. The cicadas were crying loudly outside. It made me feel hot. Why was it this hot and humid in June? If Orishida-sama was actually punishing people, I'd pay for one thing. I would pay for that the evil arm would be unpunished. And I would offer up Satoko as a sacrifice. Ha. It's hot. It sure is. When I woke up, Casey had already gone. Looks like he cleaned up the table on the surrounding room. He put his dirty laundry into the hamper in front of the washing machine too. Being a girl of a sensitive age, I didn't want a man to clean my room. Well, I'd rather thank him than badmouth him.
I looked at the clock and it was late afternoon. I had to go grocery shopping. There was nothing left in the fridge, and I'd be having a rice just before dinner if I didn't go. At that moment, the phone rang. It must be Casey, I thought. I did hope it was him. He could have bought some more food, so then I wouldn't have to go shopping. While I was just being lazy, I didn't feel like going out at all. But it wasn't Casey on the phone. Sis? Where are you calling from? The house? No, I'm calling from my payphone. So I'll make it quick. Satoshi called me. Satoshi-kun did? He called you? It probably wasn't me he wanted. He called you, I think. It sounded like he wanted to apologize for what happened the other day. So I thought you should take the call. I told him that I would call back because I was busy. So can you call this number? Uh, okay. I was stunned for a second, but then recovered and wrote down that number on the back of a magazine. Thanks. I'll call right away. Good. He's been extremely stressed these days. I don't think he'll listen to me anymore, but I think he'll listen to you. She could have pretended to be me and handled his call, but she passed it over to me. Thanks, Mion. See you, Shion. Because she hung up, I put the headset down, and after a second, I dialed the number in a flash. I heard the dial tone 3 times, 4 times, and there he was. Hojo resident, he sounded like an adult. His voice sounded a bit tired too, but it was definitely the voice I loved. I got scared. I was scared that he might become sulky again if I mentioned my name. I could open my mouth for a while. Is that you? Satoshi-kun? I'm sorry that I called you so suddenly. Are you okay now? That was the Satoshi-kun I knew. He didn't sound cold like the other day. Yeah, I'm okay now. Good. After that, he went silent. I felt the urge to start a conversation, but it wasn't fair. He was the one who called me in the first place. Then, he finally spoke. I'm truly sorry for what happened the other day. I'm sorry too. You don't have to apologize, because I was the one in the wrong. If this was a face-to-face conversation, he would probably be stroking my head. It was sad just talking to him over the phone. I won't forgive those people who forced us into this situation. You might be close to them, but it was never you personally. So I wanted to apologize. No, please don't apologize. I was selfish and didn't try to understand the situation very well. We apologized to each other a few times. Are you alright, Satoshi-kun? You're working and you're under a lot of stress. Isn't that too much to handle? I quit my job since I have enough money now. You did? That's good. You don't have to push yourself anymore then. That's really good. Satoshi-kun tried to say something, but he dropped it instead. Satoko has it far worse than me. Seems like her. Is she alright? Does she look alright to you? He suddenly sounded upset. I'd messed up. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was so stupid. I ruined this miraculous conversation with him. Satoshi-kun didn't respond to my apology, so I started apologizing. She was tortured until she was literally torn up, and everyone abandoned her. Everyone did. I didn't. I tried to calm him down, and I hated what I just said because of how hollow it sounded. I had no idea what to say next. I felt guilty. Satoshi-kun, desperate to protect Satoko from their evil aunt, but I'd wished that Satoko would die tomorrow because of the curse. I was trampling on his desperate hope. Satoko can't take it anymore, so... He cut himself off in the middle, and he went quiet for a moment. He must have been choosing his words carefully. Then he finally spoke. His words sounded hollow. I mean, I wanted to have fun for one night. Eh? What do you mean? This is what I did. The Higurashi festival is tomorrow, isn't it? I want you to take her there. Yeah, I can do that, but why? She's exhausted, so I think she'd be happy if she could get away from her aunt, but even for just one night. But why? Why? It's not that I don't understand why he wanted her taken to the festival. What I don't understand is why he was asking me to do that. Was there a reason he couldn't take her herself? I had a hunch that he might disappear, so I kept asking, what do you mean, why? Why don't you take her yourself? He fell silent. Yoshiko isn't good at lying or keeping secrets. It was clear that he wanted to hide something. I just have something to take care of, off with my work tomorrow, so I can't go to the festival. He was lying, but he was also stubborn. He wouldn't admit it if I accused him. Mion, Can you take her there tomorrow? I wouldn't want to look after Satoko, even at Satoshi's request, but I'm also glad that he's relying on me. I know it's ridiculous to ask for help after that incident, but you're the only person I can turn to now. I didn't know what to say. I did know that, though, that I wasn't going to turn him down his request. Okay, but just for tomorrow, alright? I hope you keep looking after her. What are you saying? I won't do that, just for tomorrow. He sounded as if he was going to disappear tomorrow. I didn't like the sound of that, so I intentionally sounded sulky. We talked about trivial stuff for just a little while. When the conversation was almost over, Satoshi asked something else. Hey, Mion, I really hate asking this since you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but, What? You, don't believe in it, right? Believe in what? In Orishida-sama's curse. What are you talking about, Satoshi-kun? Orishida-sama's curse is those who leave the village, right? That's the rule. Every kid in the village knows that. That's the rule. What's with that suddenly? Are you planning to leave? No, I was kidding, I wanted him to deny it. I'm not thinking about that anymore. He admitted that he thought of it. I guess Rina told me that much. That's good. So you're not leaving the village? No, but I haven't been forgiven yet. Eh? Satoshi tried to say something but hesitated. He was breathing so heavily. Was he sick? Hey. Do you feel alright, Satoshi-kun, or you still hear the footsteps? Sorry. I'm fine. I guess you're tired. I think you should get some rest. He sounded, distinctly more sickly from when this conversation had started. He breathed heavily when, punctuating his words. Satoshi couldn't repeat his question. Mion, I'll ask you one more time. Do you believe in Orishida-sama's curse? What did he want me to say? Could I make you feel more relieved with my answer? How should I respond? The answer was simple. There's no curse. There can't possibly be. I didn't know what was bothering him, but I wanted to make him feel better by laughing his worries away. But Satoshi could instead fell in silence. I couldn't tell if he was happy with my answer or not. One thing was certain, I didn't make him feel any better. Sorry that I asked such a weird question. Sorry. I felt like I let him down, so I apologized in a rush. Well, this is a real curse of somebody's conspiracy. I won't disappear and I won't fall victim to it. You won't disappear? No. Not until I buy that teddy bear. I'll get the money pretty soon. Well, you kind of sound like Kyuchi. I won't get anywhere until then. He chuckled. I knew he was trying to relieve me, but it worked the opposite way. He sounded as though he didn't care what would happen after he bought the teddy bear. Oh, my aunt is home. I have to go. Oh, okay, Mion? Huh? Even though he wanted to hang up the phone because of his aunt coming back, Satoshi took a breath to tell me something important. I'll leave. Satoko to you. I should have said yes right away, but I still couldn't forgive Satoko, so I just kept quiet. Forget what I said. Bye. He was obviously disappointed. What had I done? I wanted to apologize. I wish I could, but it was too late. The doctor left no doubt. Now that was depressing. Is this a Higurashi when they cry? Yeah, okay. So, did you say thingies tomorrow? Or today? Either way, I'm not going. A torn diary, that's a Toshi, right? He ignored. Well, he's still gonna take it. I just need to call up Mion. Someone whispered to me from behind. They told me I was going to be the victim of the curse this year. So I'm going to disappear soon. There'll be nobody left to take care of Satoko. Somebody whispered to me from behind. Told me that I don't have much time. That I won't stay as myself for much longer. So I had to make the best of the days I had left. What could I leave for Satoko? She wanted that huge teddy bear. She wanted a peaceful life in which nobody would bully her. I worship the person at my back. Bestow your violent nature and formidable strength upon me. I want your peaceful mind, filled with hatred. You're talking to Orishida-sama? Or that demon? I don't know what the footsteps are still, but... Yeah, that should be for this time, I guess. So, bye-bye. Bye.